Okay, hi Year 7s. So today I'm going to go through the Year 7 algebra test, the practice test that I handed you guys. So we'll start with question 1 in the multiple choice section and then just follow it through. Okay, so question 1. Lily orders X pizzas. She divides each pizza into 8 equal portions. The total number of portions that Lily has can be written using algebra as. Okay, so our first clue is that she's got X pizzas. And she divides each pizza into 8 equal portions. Okay, so the options we have for the answers are A, x plus 8, B, x minus 8, C, 8 times x, and D, x divided by 8. Okay, so our biggest clue is that she divides each pizza into 8 equal portions, so that means our answer is D. We'll move on to question 2. The sum of x and 9 can be written using algebra as. So our options are A, x plus 9, B, x minus 9, C, 9x, and D, x divided by 9. So our clue here, sum, and a sum usually means addition. So our addition. So our answer here is A, x plus 9. Question 3. The product of two different numbers is A plus B, B, AB, C, A minus B, and D, A divided by B divided by C. So here our clue is product, and a product is multiplication. So then our answer is B. Question 4. Which expression below matches the instruction given? Find the difference between a number and 4. So we've got A, n plus 4, B, 4n, C, n minus 4, and D, 3n plus 1. So we need to find the expression of the difference. The difference is subtraction between the two numbers. So that means the answer is C. Question 5. A like term for 5a is A, 5b, B, A, B, C, C, 5ab, and D, 7a. So here we look at the coefficient. We look at the pronumeral. And the pronumeral is A. The only one that has A by itself is D, so the answer is D. Question 6. Which of the following is obtained when 4p plus 5p plus 6 is simplified? So first, we collect our like terms, which is 4p and 5p. 6 is the constant, and there's no other constant, so we don't have to simplify that. So our first line of working, and then we add 4p plus 5p, which equals 9p. And don't forget to put the 6. So our correct answer is B. Moving on to question 7. Choose the correct algebraic rule for the given sentence. When you multiply to get y, multiply x by 3, then take away 5. So let's start with the multiplication. So we start with y, and we want to multiply x by 3, so that becomes 3x, and then take away 5, minus 5. So that means our correct answer is A. Question 8. The rule J equals 2k plus 1, when k equals 3, j would equal 2. So this is substitution. So we've got j equals 2k plus 1. We know that k equals 3, so we substitute 3 where k is. 2 times 3 plus 1. And remember, between the 2 and the k is a times. So next, j equals 2 times 3, which is 6, plus 1. So that means j equals 7. So the answer is C. Next question, question 9. A rule is given as p equals 10 minus n. Which statement is not true? So let's just work through the questions here. So if we make n equals 6 for A, we've got p equals 10 minus 6. So that means p equals 4. So this one is correct. Our next one, I'll just wrap this out. Okay, our next one, so B. When n equals 5, p equals 5. So we've got p, we'll substitute n, which equals 5. So 10 minus 5, and p equals 5. So this one's also correct. So the answer is not A and it's not B. We'll wrap that out. Our next one, when n equals 10, p equals 0. So we substitute 10 for n. So p equals 10 minus 10. So p equals 0. So that one's also correct. So our last one, question C. When n equals 3, so we've got p equals 10 minus 3 because we've substituted n for 3. And that means p equals 7. And that is not true. So when we go back to our answer, which statement is not true? D is not true. Okay, question 10. For the table, what is the rule linking x and y? So we have to look at the pattern here. So to get from y equals 7 to y equals 9, we add 2. To get from 9 to 10, we only add 1. And then to get to 10 to 15, we're adding 5. So that's not a very clear pattern, is it? So let's have a look at the difference between 7 and 3. So the difference between 7 and 3 is 5. Is that correct? Is 4, sorry. Is 4. The difference between 9, I'll just erase these. The difference between 9 and 5 is also 4. The difference between 6 and 10 is 4. And the difference between 15 and 11 is 4. So then we can get our rule as y equals x minus 4. So we can see what this is like. We can say when x plus 4, sorry. So when x equals 3, we'll substitute that in, plus 4, y equals 7. So it works for this one. We'll tick that one. Now let's try when x equals 5. So y equals 5 plus 4, y equals 9. It also works for the second one. Now our next one. When x equals 6, so y equals 6 plus 4, which equals 10. So it's working for that one. And our next one, y equals 11 minus plus 4, so y equals 15. So our answer here is y equals x plus 4, so that's B. Okay, to our next page. Question 1. Sue has 5 bags of lollies, with P lollies in each bag. She eats 12 of those lollies. The total number of lollies that Sue has now can be written using algebra as. Okay, so we'll just underline our important information here. So she's got 5 bags of lollies, and each of these bags has P lollies in each bag. She eats 12 of these lollies, and we want to find the total number of lollies that Sue has now, so once she's eaten 12. Once eaten 12. Okay, so using algebra, if she's got 5 bags of lollies, each with P lollies, so one bag has P, and then she's got 5 of those bags, so we've got 5P, so 5 times P. Okay, next she eats 12 of those lollies, so she's taken 12 lollies out of one bag, so that means minus 12. So this is this rule for the total number of lollies that she has after she's eaten. So the answer is D. Question 2. The sum of x and 8 is divided by 2. This can be written using algebra. Okay, so we've got the sum. Now before we talked about the sum, and that was addition. So we can write this first bit as x plus 8. And this whole thing, the sum of x and 8, all of this, is divided by 2. So that means we divide it by 2. This can be written using algebra. That's our answer. So we've got B. Next question. Which of the following expressions has a constant term of 4? Okay, the constant here means that there's no pronumeral attached to it. So no pronumeral attached. So when we look at these, we've got a constant term here. This has no constant. This one also has no constant because both of the terms have Q's and P's attached to them. And then we've got D has the constant of 2. We're looking for a constant term of 4, so our answer is A. So question 4. Which expression below matches the instruction given? Choose a number and multiply it by 6. So this is choose a number and multiply it by 6. Subtract any other number. So you've got 2 different numbers. Then add 9. So in the answers they've used M and N. So let's start with M. So a number, choose a number and multiply it by 6. So let's say this is M. So we've got 6M. Subtract any other number. We'll call this number N. And then add 9. And we'll add 9 to that. So that means our answer is 6M minus N plus 9, which is C. Question 5. A like term for 7xyz is. So remember our like terms, we look at our coefficients, our pronumerals, we look at our pronumerals. A has y and z, but it doesn't have x, so that one can't be a like term. B has x and y, but no z, so that also can't be a like term. C has x and z, but no y, so that also can't be a like term. D is 5z,y,x. It has all the pronumerals that are in 7x,y,z, but in different order. We can rearrange this into alphabetical order, so that becomes 5x, y, z, and we see that the pronumerals here and the pronumerals in our question are the same. So D is the constant term, is the like term, sorry. Our next question. Question 6. Which of the following is obtained when 2p plus 4 plus 8p minus 1 is simplified? So remember, with our first step here is to identify the like terms. Okay, so I'll put a box around the ones that are the same. So I've got, this has both got p, so 2p and 8p are the same. And then we've also got our constants that are the same, which can be added, and we'll circle them. Can be simplified. Okay, so now number 2, we are collecting our like terms. Alright, so now we'll just put all the p's together and the constants together. So we'll start with 2p and then we'll move the 8p. Remember, this plus sign in front of the 8 moves with the 8p, so it becomes plus 8p. And then we've got plus 4p, sorry, plus 4, no p, and minus 1. Our third step is to simplify. Simplify. So we add 2p plus 8p and that becomes 10p. And plus 4 minus 1 becomes minus 3. So our simplified expression is 10p minus 3. And that is D in our answers. Okay, so now we've got question 7. Choose the correct algebraic rule for this sentence. To get y, find the square root of x, then add 4. Okay, so this one is a funny one because our answer that we actually need is not in the options. So we'll cross all these out and we'll just work it out. So we start with y. So we've got y equals. Find the square root of x. So the first thing we have to do to x is square root it. And then to that number, 4 has to be added. So it's plus 4. So that's our answer. Unfortunately, it's not one of the options there. But now we'll move on to question 8. The rule L equals 7m plus 1 when m equals 4, L would equal 2. So this is substitution. So I've got L equals 7m plus 1. And we know that m equals 4. So our next line of working is L equals 7 times 4 plus 1. Now we use our BODMAS, so BODMAS. So we don't have any brackets, so we don't worry about that. We don't have any or ofs, so we don't do that. Next is division. There's no division. So we've got multiplication. So first we do a multiplication of 7 times 4, which equals 28. So L equals 28 plus 1. Okay, and then we do our addition, which is next. So L equals 29. So our answer must be C. Question 9. A rule is given as P equals 4 brackets n minus 1. Which statement is not true? So again, we do some substitution. So let's start with A. Okay, and we'll substitute n equals 6 into the equation. So we've got P equals 4, 6 minus 1. P, what do we do first? Using BODMAS again. Using BODMAS again. We've got our brackets first, and this time we do have brackets. So we evaluate 6 minus 1, which is 5. Okay, next of division, multiplication. Remember that there is a times in between the brackets 4 and 5, so we've got P equals 4 times 5. And then our answer is P equals 20. So A is correct. Let's erase that and move on to B. Okay, so B, we need to substitute n equals 5 into the equation. So we've got P equals 4, 5 minus 1. So P equals 4. We first do our brackets, so 5 minus 1, which equals 4. And remember that there is a multiplication in between the 4 and the brackets, so that becomes 4 times 4. So that means P equals 16. So that means B is also correct. Let's move on to C and erase this. We got n equals 11 now. So we'll substitute 11 for n. So I've got P equals 4, 11 minus 1. So P equals 4. We do our brackets first again. So I've got 10. P equals, remember that there's a times in between the 4 and the bracket. So I've got 4 times 10. And our answer is P equals 40. Okay, so C we can see is wrong because they've evaluated P to equal 39, and we know that it's supposed to equal 40, so that means this answer C is not true. So we can circle that one. But before we move on, we should check D if that's a true answer. So we'll rub this out and do D. We've got when n equals 12 this time. So we have to substitute 12 where n is. So we've got P equals 4, 12 minus 1. Okay, first we do our brackets like we've been doing. So P equals 4. 12 minus 1 is 11. And then remember our multiplication between the 4 and the bracket. So it's P equals 4 times 11. So our answer is P equals 44. And that's correct. This is a true statement. So the only not true statement is when n equals 11, P equals 39, which is option C. Okay, we'll move on to question 10. Question 10. For the table, what is the rule linking x and y? Okay, so first we look for a pattern between the y's. So we've got to get from 14 to 8, we minus 6. To get from 20 to 14, we also have to minus 6. To get from 12 to 6, again, we're minusing 6. And to get from 32 to 26, we're also minusing 6. So from the pattern that we can see here, where to get y, we have to minus 6 from x. So we can write that as a rule, y equals x minus 6. And we'll have a look if that option matches any of our options here, and it does. A. So y equals x minus 6, and that's option A. Correct. One reason that B is incorrect, x equals y minus 6, is because we're looking for the relationship of y, how we get from x to the y. Okay? So that's the multiple choice done. I'm going to make another video for the short answer. So I'll just pause it here and I'll be back any time on the next video.